And now, Pujya Atman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda ji commences tonight's satsang with the Sanskrit peace chant.
Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We begin with mystic song by Sri Swami Lalitananda, played and sung by Sri Swami Umananda and Rajneesh.
Our song tonight is based on Psalm 95 from the Bible. It's called Come, Come, Let Us Sing. Come, come, let us sing to the Lord with songs of praise, for the Lord is a great God. In His hand lay the depths of the earth. The mountain peaks are His. His is the sea, for He made it. The joy that His hands form, and He blew upon it. Come, come, let us worship Him and bow down. The Lord made us, He is our God. We are the people, we are His flock, drinking from the stream of life. Come, come, let us sing to the Lord. Obey, obey His voice this day. Let us sing to the Lord. We are recording from the ashram of our revered Guru, Pujya Atman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda ji in Miami, Florida. Today is April the 2nd, 2021, Friday evening, and tonight Swamiji will be lecturing on the Tulsi Ramayana. This is series 2016, class number 246. And now, Pujya Atman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda ji.
Om Neelambujasyamalakomalangam Sita Samaropitam Vamabhagam Panau Maha Sayakacharu Chapam Namami Ramam Raghuvanshanatham. Adorations to Lord Rama, whose complexion is like a blue lotus, very tender and delightful in appearance. Sita is seated on his left side. He is carrying powerful bow and arrow in his hands. Sri Ramcharitmanas in Aranyakand and verse number 2. We have just concluded the episode of Jayanta, how he came with 2 eyes to pinch on Sita Devi, and ultimately was relieved of every misery by losing one of his eyes. Jayanta was Bhogadrishti. Bhogadrishti is a dualistic vision of your charam chakshu, what you see by your eyes, physical eyes. Jnana chakshu is non-dualistic. So, Indra, who is the source of great happiness, on the way to attaining enlightenment, Indra's stage is a stage of trial. Would you like to be enjoying celestial pleasure, or will you move towards liberation? These points we have discussed before. If you choose to live a righteous life for entering heavenly world after death, that does not stop the cycle of birth and death. You will come back again and again. The best way to go to heaven is to let the heavenly experience push you on further for attaining God realization. Indra should not, Indralok or Swarga should not be your stopping point, but Swarga should accelerate your spiritual movement. That you have to figure that out, how it can be happen. But that was the story of Jayanta. Bhogadrishti turned into Moksha Drishti. With Bhogadrishti, everyone is like a crow with 2 eyes, looking at filthy things to eat. So Moksha Drishti, nothing to see, no refuge from the world, but Rama alone becomes your guide and the light and source of delight. After this happening, रघुपति चित्रकूट बसिदाना, चरित किए श्रुति सुधा समाना, बहुरी राम अस मन अनुमाना, होई भीर सबहि मोहि जाना. Rama in his ashram in Chitrakoot did lots of righteous deeds which are souls, which are like nectar to the ears of devotees. Following the storyline, after a certain period of time, Rama, considering this state that has built up, considering that since Rama has become so popular and so many people will start coming more and more, his forest life will not be successful. So therefore, Rama decided to go into deeper part of the forest, the movement towards Panchbati. सकल मुनिन सन विदा कराई, सीता सहित चले दो भाई. He said farewell to all sages who had gathered within Rama's ashram. Rama, Lakshmana and Sita, they proceeded for deeper part of the forest. And as they proceeded, first they went to the ashram of Sage Atri. Atri ke ashram jab prabhu gayau, sunat mahamuni harshit bhayau. When Rama went to Atri's ashram, Sage Atri was exceedingly delighted. Pulakit gath Atri uthi dhaye, देखी राम आतुर चली आए. Sage Atri became so thrilled to see Rama. He ran towards Rama with great speed, and having offered adorations to Rama, rather, Rama offered adorations to him, and Sage Atri enfolded Rama in his arms and shed loving tears on Rama and Lakshmana. देखी राम छवि नयन जुड़ाने, सादर निज आश्रम तब आने. Seeing Rama's having Rama's darshan, Sage Atri was so internally fulfilled. With great respect, he brought Rama to his ashram. Kari puja kahi bachan subhaye, diye mool phal Prabhu man bhaye. Having adored Rama, having said wonderful words of praise for Rama, Sage Atri offered roots and fruits. This is a vegetarian diet, roots, fruits. And that was so delightful for Rama. From subtler point of view, Atri ashram implies a negation of the triad. A is a negation. Three is the triad, Triputi. Sage is wedded to Anasuya. Asuya means jealousy, looking into the defects of others and constantly being jealous. That quality is called Asuya. Anasuya is a negation of that quality, negation of that defect, absence of jealousy. If you are in a state of transcending the triad, triad always means, look at your dream. Three things have gone wrong: the dream subject, the dream world experience, and your experience of pleasure and pain. In order to wake up, you must be rid of the triad. In order to wake up from the world process, all these three aspects must undergo a tremendous change. As you spiritually advance, your understanding of yourself changes. The way you look at the world, that changes. And the end result of your experience in the world is not drifting pleasure and pain, but profound bliss. So, your experiences undergo change. And that's the way you are entering into, your soul enters into Atri ashram. And when you are entering in that state, you do not see defects in people. You find people sick in the hospital of the world process. And you develop compassion towards them. There is no place for asuya, for finding fault with others. And scriptures have presented this allegorical story that Atri Anasuya became so popular, especially Anasuya, that gods became jealous of Anusuya's pati bhakti, Anusuya's fidelity towards her husband, Sage Atri. And they took upon themselves the project of shaking up Anasuya from her state of purity. Assuming different forms, they tried to compel her to act in a way that is improper for a married woman. This in the storyline. They came as beggars, as sadhus asking bhiksha. And the condition was that she should come without clothes. And she said, very well, I will. But now, before that, let me tell you, all of you, as babies. A subtle point is brought out in a very humorous way of the difference between passionate love and love of God. Love of God allows motherliness to enter your heart. Love of the world is otherliness. And as a result, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, all the three turned into one baby called Dattatreya. And he is the ideal guru, guru of gurus. And it is he who taught how to be inspired by the whole world process, turning your vision to 24 gurus, not one source for inspiration, but countless sources of inspiration, allegorically presented as 24 gurus of Dattatreya. That means you are learning through many sources. You are learning through the sun, through the ocean, through human beings, through animals. So that was Attatreya, that was Sage Atri and his wife Anasuya, Atri's ashram. प्रभु आसन आसीन भरी लोचन शोभा निरखी मुनिवर परम प्रवीण जोरी पानी स्तुति करत. Rama is seated and Sage Atri is enjoying the darshan of Rama. With folded hands, Sage Atri offers this prayer. Prayers that are given in Tulsi Ramayana, they are like pearls of devotion. And they can be always source of great inspiration. Inspiration as well as purification. Stotras, they have been composed in such a way that they create positive vibrations in your unconscious and allow the Shubh Samskaras, positive impressions, to be highlighted. But when you study the same stotra with open-heartedness, with deep sincerity, the effect of the stotra, the benefit of it, is beyond imagination. So I will recite the stotra, and along with it I will go on giving you the meaning. Namami bhakta vatsalam kripalu shila komalam bhajami te padambujam akaminam swadhamadam. O beloved of the devotees, O gracious Lord, whose nature is so tender like lotus, I offer adorations to you. You lead the souls to liberation, souls that are following the path of nishkama, path of nivritti. Those who are sakamya, those who live their life pursuing their wishes, they are following the path of pravritti. And God is the giver of fruits to pravritti as well as nivritti. To pravritti, the world of bhoga, enjoyment. For nivritti, moksha, liberation. In fact, God is the giver of shakti, bhakti and mukti. God allows you to have strength to face challenges in your life. That's called shakti. Enables you to develop divine love in your heart. And that makes your life saras, full of delight. A delightful taste flows deep in your heart. And you are being led to mukti, liberation. Behind all that is Rama, God, inspiring the soul to go through all the three stages. To that Rama we offer adorations. Nikama Shyama Sundaram Bhavambunatha Mandaram Prafulla Panjak Lochanam Madadi Dosha Mochanam. You are absolutely beautiful, handsome. The beauty of God is just like describing the luminosity of the sun. Sun is, reflected suns are countless. And they have different luminosities. But compared to the beauty of the reflected suns, think of the beauty of the sun. That beauty of the absolute sun is Nitanta Sundaram, is absolute beauty. That absolute beauty is inherent in every soul. Rama is the reality of every soul. Shyam, he is with swarthy blue complexion. Look at the sky, it looks blue. The blue sky is pointing you to Akasha, to expansion. And expansion has three stages. Physical expansion, Bhutakash, Chittakash, the expansion created by your thoughts and feelings. And absolute expansion, Chidakash. So, the very complexion of Lord Rama, Lord Krishna, is pointing you towards that goal that you are being led to. Bhur Swa, the earthly reality, the reality of the physical world, the reality of the sentimental world, and the reality of the causal and transcendental. And your form is like Mandarachala mountain that was used as a churning rod for bringing out nectar by churning milky ocean. Rather just churning the ocean. Your eyes are like lotuses. Behind all the descriptions there is a deeper meaning. Lotus means the drops of water stay on the lotus petals, but they don't wet the petal. They slip down so easily. So if your vision has developed that type of detachment, the world is illusion and should not be trapped by the world. Your vision should not get stuck. So if that type of vision he possesses, therefore his lotus eyes. Madadi dosha mochanam. And all these impurities, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, all these impurities are resolved and dissolved by Rama's grace. So he is the remover of impurities. Pradamba bahu vikramam prabho prameya vaibhavam nishanga chapa sayakam dharam trilokanayakam. O Lord, your valor, the valor of your long arms, it is always a physical description. The Rama's form is long arms, the hands that reach up to the knees. But don't stay confined to only that vision. His arms reach out everywhere. Nothing in the world that is beyond his reach. And your glory is immeasurable. You who hold bow and arrow, you who are the Lord of the three lokas I have described to you before. The earthly reality, means the practical reality, sentimental reality, the reality based on understanding. All these three lokas are under the control of God. Dinesha Vansha Mandanam, Mahesha Chapa Khandanam, Munindra Santa Ranjanam, Surari Brinda Bhanjanam. He is the crowning glory of the solar race. He is the one who broke Shiva's bow. He who is the delighter of sages and saints, who is the destroyer of enemies of gods. Manoja Vairi Banditam, Ajadi Deva Sevitam, Vishuddha Bodha Vigraham, Samasta Dushanapaham. You are adored by Lord Shiva, who is the controller and destroyer of Kama. Kama is desire for worldly pleasure, desire relating to mundane pleasure. Led by Kama, the soul continues to thirst. But when spiritual attainment becomes possible, that thirst is quenched forever. You attain nirvana. So, that Jnana Swarup, that absolute embodiment of pure wisdom, that is Shiva. And that Shiva adores Rama. Shiva and Rama are supplement, complement of same reality. Shiva is presented sometimes as pure wisdom, and Rama is pure devotion. At times, Rama becomes pure wisdom, and Shiva becomes absolute devotion. So that's what we mean by supplement-complement relation. You are being ever adored and served by Brahma and all other gods. You are the embodiment of absolute wisdom and destroyer of all impurities. Namami indirapatim sukhakaram satam gatim bhaje sashakti sanujam Shachipati Priyanujam. O Lord of Lakshmi, Sita Devi is Lakshmi embodiment. The boundless treasure of happiness. You are the only goal of all Satpurushas, all souls that are pursuing the path of truth. I offer adorations to you. You, who are the younger brother of Indra, we use the Sanskrit words Indra and Upendra. First you encountered Indra, Bhoga. Next, if Bhoga gives you passage, you will encounter moksha, liberation. So, Bhoga is the elder brother, moksha is the younger brother. So Vamana is Upendra, Indra's younger brother, whose story I'm not dealing with now. So thus adorations to Rama, Lakshmana and Sita. Tadangri mula yenara bhajanti hina matsara patanti no bhavarnave vitarka vichi sankule. Those devotees who are free of jealousy. And who attend on your lotus feet, who are always devoted to your lotus feet. They don't fall into the trap of the world process. Vitarka Vici, world process is described like the ocean, where vitarkas means mind that is constantly dealing with sanshaya bhavana, asambhavana, viparita bhavana. Mind is never in harmony. It's under the influence of doubts, the doubting state. The mind is not settled. That's the first stage, sanshaya. Second stage, asambhavana. You make up your mind that spirituality doesn't exist. Or if it exists, impossible for you. And viparita bhavana, you are always looking at God somewhere within yourself as an object of your mental process. But it's other way around. You are within God. God is not within you. That's the earliest stage of statement. God is within you. But then, the higher reality, all this is in God. So, living in the world is like being trapped by the waves of mental agitation caused by these 3 points, sanshaya bhavana, asambhavana and viparita bhavana. Vivikta vasinah sada bhajanti muktaye muda nirasya indriyadikam prayanti te gatim swakam. You are that God who is attained by those who follow the path of seclusion, ekantavasi. Path of seclusion is path of vairagya, dispassion and detachment. It doesn't mean literally you have to stay out, but internally understanding that you are spirit, you are soul, you are light. You cannot mingle with forces of darkness. So vivikta vasina, being secluded. Second point, one who has controlled the mind and senses. These adhikaris, these qualified people, worship you and they attain your swarup. They attain realization of Rama. Rama is same as Brahman, the Absolute. Tamekam adbhutam prabhum niriham ishwaram vibhum jagadgurum cha sashvatam turiya meya kevalam. For qualified aspirants, you are Advitiya, non-dual absolute. You are Adbhut, incomparable, nothing in the world can compare with you. You are Prabhu, omnipotent being, Ichha-rahit, beyond all desires. Ishwar, you are of all. Vyapak, all pervasive. Jagat Guru, the preceptor of the universe. Sanatan, eternal. Turiya, transcending the three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. And you are Keval. Keval means you are alone, absolute. All these are meant to spice up your mind in sadhana. Promote practice of Godward movement of the mind. Bhajami bhava vallabham kuyoginam sudurlabham swabhakta kalpat padasapam samam susebhya manvaham. Lord, you are the Lord. Bhava Priya. When your bhavana is purified, you become beloved of God. God is like the sun, impartial to all pots of water and impartial to so many reflected suns. But any pot of you begin to see the sun reflecting with clarity. So that type of experience is possible for qualified aspirants, as their bhavana, the feeling aspect of the heart, becomes free from worldly impurities. Now that devotee becomes beloved of God. God becomes your beloved, you become beloved of Him. So He is Bhava Priya, Bhav Vallabham, Yoginam Sudurlabham. But people who are gripped with worldly pleasure, wrong yogis. Right yogis are who live to be united with God. Wrong yogis who live to be united with the world of pleasure. For these people who are indulgent in worldly pleasure, you are beyond their reach. For your devotees, you are Kalpa Vriksha, the wish-yielding tree. Means devotees experience fulfillment of all their cherished wishes. Pujahi manaha kamana tumhari. You are ever sama, without partiality. You are equally shining for all. And serving you is a source of immense delight. I always worship you, nirantar, ceaselessly. Anuparupa bhupatim natoha murvijapatim prasiddhate na me namami te padabja bhakti dehi me. O Lord, you are supremely beautiful, handsome. O Lord of Janaki, Sita Devi, I offer adorations to you. Be pleased with me. I am adoring you. Give me devotion to your lotus feet. Pathanti yestavam idam naradare te padam brajanti natra sanshayam tvadiya bhakti sanjuta. Whoever studies this stotra, this prayer, he develops devotion to God. He is blessed with bhakti and is led to the highest attainment, mukti. There is no doubt about it. See how much has been condensed in one simple prayer. And there are so many prayers presented in Tulsi Ramayana. Binati kari muni nai siru kaha kar jori bahori charan saroru hanath jani kamahuta jaya mati mori. Having offered this prayer, bowing down before Rama with folded hands, he says, may my intellect never leave your lotus feet. May my understanding grab your lotus feet and never let them go. It's another way of saying, may I be blessed with sanmati. Sabko sanmati de Bhagavan. And we conclude for this day. Om. Om. Ram, 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 Ram. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om. Prayer for shower of Karunamaya Ras, grace of God over all of you, with the blessings of Shakti, Bhakti and Mukti. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukum Vabandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashchid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat.
Are there any questions? Please remember on Sunday you'll be celebrating Easter with Swamiji. Enjoy his Easter message at 7:30 instead of the Bhagavad Gita lecture.